First on the materials list, you will need a butter knife. After that, you will need a standard knife. Any knife will do, just as long as it is capable of cutting through vegetables and bread. Next on the list is a plate. You'll be setting your sandwich on the plate, so this is a fairly important material. Then you will need a cutting board. This is where most of the magic will take place. And depending on your preference, you might need a toaster. For demonstrational purposes, we will be providing a toaster. After you have the materials, you will need to gather your ingredients. First is a tomato. Then after a tomato, you will need to gather lettuce. Neither of these are required, just highly recommended. Then you have cheese. This is a must if you are going to make a sandwich. The same goes with sandwich meats, which in this video we are going to be using bologna. Then you have a condiment. The most common is mayonnaise. Afterwards, you have the essential ingredient in a sandwich, which is bread. Once you've gathered your materials and ingredients, you can begin to prepare the sandwich. The first step, if you choose to do so, is to place your bread into the toaster and then begin toasting the bread. While you're waiting, you can go ahead and cut the lettuce. The same thing goes with the tomato, so that you can have your sandwich done in a timely manner. This is so that you may begin eating as soon as possible. So just go ahead and continue to wait until the bread pops out of the toaster. Once this happens, pull the bread out of the toaster one piece at a time and place them on the plate. Then you will need to proceed to the condiment, which in our case is mayonnaise, and open it up. Then grab your butter knife, place it inside of the jar, grab a reasonable amount onto the knife, and then begin to spread onto the first piece of bread. Spread evenly throughout so that you have a nice thin layer on the first piece of bread. Then go back into the jar, grab a little bit more mayonnaise, place it on the second piece of bread. This is imperative because you want the flavor to be balanced throughout the sandwich. After you have evenly spread the mayonnaise onto both slices of bread, you will begin the most important step in constructing a sandwich. This is placing the ingredients onto the bread. We will be beginning with the cheese. Remove it from the packaging or wrapper depending on which kind of cheese you choose, and then place it onto either slice of bread. Make sure it is straight and even because you want a good looking sandwich. Afterwards, you will grab the sandwich meat, which in our case was bologna, and you will place it on the opposite slice of bread. We will be using 2 pieces of meat and we'll be folding them to provide a even more full sandwich. Once you have the sandwich meat perfectly lined up, then you will proceed to the tomatoes, which you will place on top of the cheese in order to maintain symmetry. After you have the cheese, you will grab the lettuce, put them on top of the tomato, and then lastly, you will close the sandwich. This is important because it forms your sandwich into the familiar form factor we all know and love. After you've closed the sandwich, you'll grab the sharper knife and you will cut along the sandwich diagonally. It is scientifically proven that sandwiches taste better when they are cut diagonally. Then, afterwards, you will place the sandwich onto the cutting board. This isn't imperative, but this is recommended. Then you will grab your favorite brand of chips and place them into the sandwich, for this is the most important ingredient which makes a sandwich irresistible. Make sure you place the chips onto both sides so that you have an even taste throughout. Once you have finished this step, you have finished your sandwich and you are now on your way to satisfying your hunger.